Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and this is your weekly motivation segment. You are 10 minutes away from being inspired, clear, and ready to rock out your business this week. So grab a coffee or green juice and let's get started. Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and today we're talking about communicating like a queen to yourself and others. Listen, once you get this skill down, your life will change. It's pretty much the feminine art on how to get anything you want, guilt-free, and feel great about it. Now, the challenge, if you're anything like me, is that most of us weren't taught how to communicate like a queen. Most of us were taught either to stay silent and then just to shove everything in and not speak up and be invisible. And then if you, went to therapy 3 times a week or did any amount of personal development, then you got out of your invisibility and you did the pendulum swing and you're like, listen to me, my way goes, and what the F is wrong with you because you're not doing everything the way I want it to. I have gotten the feedback that neither leadership style is most effective. So I had to go on my own personal journey. You know, what was modeled to me was if you were a leader, you yelled at people if they did something wrong. I know it sounds barbaric and archaic. I'm just sharing. Or you were just supposed to be the nice girl and be invisible and tell everyone that it was okay, even if they showed up late and messed up and made mistakes. And I was just in such a bewildered place of, what does it even look like to communicate like a queen? And when do you speak up? And when are you fierce? And I would read these leadership books. And it's like, people like it when you try to get more out of them and challenge them. But then I would challenge people in the way that I know how to do it. And they didn't seem to like it so much. And it was a very confusing process. And so I'm here to take the mystery out of it for you, because I have made every possible mistake in the book in this area. And I've also gotten myself on the other side of it, which doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It means I've gotten myself on the other side of it. And what I found is the key to communicating like a queen is to speak the truth in love. That's tip number 1. Speak the truth in love. Because so oftentimes, if something's boiling up within you and you're feeling like you need to say something, but you're either making yourself wrong and keeping it in, or you're going to blurt something out, that needs to be spoken. And I know the biggest mistake that I made along the way, it wasn't what I said, it was how I said it. It was either that I didn't say it at all, or I said it in a way that was too harsh. So this is a learned skill. And I am just going to level the playing field right here, right now. You do not have to put some level of responsibility on yourself to always get it right, to be perfect, to never make a mistake. Women need to learn to be way more forgiving to ourselves and to others. Every person around you, even if she's going off in bitch mode, she's just trying to get it right too. I mean, all the times that you were a bitch, did you ever wake up that day and be like, I'm going to be a bitch today. I'm going to see how many people's lives I can ruin and just spread as much poison as possible. No, but we've all actually done that. That's been the result of some of the way we've gone through the day. And no one feels worse about it than you, right? I mean, no one feels worse about it than me when I go through that. And what I'm here to remind you is, bravo. Because at least if you are taking responsibility, at least if you are conscious about it, you are on the path to being queen. And at least if you're blurting things out and you're failing forward, you're moving yourself forward faster than who I used to be in the invisible realm, never speaking up, never trying, never risking. So there's an art and there's a process to you learning what's coming up inside of you. And you starting to value that your voice matters and what you need to say needs to be said and heard. And when I've gone through this process, what I have found is I see things like things that are so obvious to me that used to piss me off. Like, why can someone say, isn't that so obvious? Well, common sense isn't all that common, ladies. And no, it's not obvious to everyone. If there's something that you're particularly good at, if there's something that you're seeing, there's probably a level of responsibility or opportunity for you to be guiding your clients, training your team, maybe learning how to do life and relationship and marriage differently than what was modeled to you. So whether this is in your personal life or your professional life, learning to speak up and find the loving way to say it. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily softening it. It doesn't mean that it's watering it down. It means love can be very fierce, and you can speak the truth in love and people will feel it from that place. Whatever space you speak, or you speak from anger, they're going to feel that. You speak from love, you can be very fierce and very laser and very up-leveled in the process. Everyone will feel the intention that you speak with. And what I'm here to say more than ever is your voice does need to be heard. So I don't want you to be afraid of speaking up and sharing your opinion and stating what changes you see need to be made in your household and your business, in this world, in the environment, in politics. Speak up, just speak the truth in love, because you will get so much farther faster. And I know that that's ultimately what you're here for. You're here to share your message. You're here to make a bigger difference in the world. And if more women learn how to be feminine leaders, communicating like a queen, that will be very, very effective. Now, step 2 for communicating like a queen. Be direct, be precise, and be unapologetic. That is step 2. They go in threes. What I have learned is that so oftentimes women will take themselves out of the game by their introduction. I'm struggling with, if you don't mind, I hope it's not an inconvenience. Would it be okay have you ever heard a guy start a sentence that way? I hope it's not an inconvenience, and if you don't mind, but I would really appreciate it if you could move your coffee cup over. I mean, like, guys are unapologetic. They're just like, dude, move. And I'm saying you can create your own flair with it, but that's not rude, by the way, and that's not mean. And this myth of being the nice girl needs to end, because it's demeaning women like us who are smart, who are powerful, and who are capable. So when you learn to speak directly, that's you being in your queenhood. That's you using your smarts. You get to ask a question. You get to not know the answer. You get to ask for help. But don't do it in some mamsy-pamsy way that's just so energetically repelling that nobody wants to even listen to the rest of what you got to say anyways. So one of the things I constantly am training my women in the Divine Living Academy with, they'll raise their hand and be like, Gina, I'm struggling with, we don't even allow that language in the Divine Living Academy. Gina, I'm struggling with, well, what are you going to get? You're branding yourself out there as the struggle queen. Nobody's interested in that. How about, hey, Gina, I'm curious about. See how that changes everything? You're not taking yourself out of the way. You don't need to struggle. You're smart. You're hardworking. You're educated. You have a question. You have the right to ask that question. Just ask that question in your power and as the queen that you are, not in this little, like, I'm not sure if it's okay for me to exist kind of way. So really, really getting that speaking clearly and directly, it's accessing a bit of your masculinity. Not all this flowery, circly thing that, is so hard for people to understand. People want to be able to please you. Clients, your man, people around you, make it easy for them. Communicate in a clear and direct way. It's not rude to say, I would like you here at this time. It's not like, well, if it's okay with you and if it's not too much of a problem, I would appreciate it if. Unnecessary. So get fierce, get in your power, say what you mean, ask for what you want, and don't judge other women who are fierce about that. Become fierce yourself. Because it's so easy to start labeling our sisters as some sort of bitch or demanding or even crazy because she's getting all fierce about something. There are those elements that none of us want to dip into, but fierceness needs to be so much more accepted in the community of queens, because real queens, that's what they rely on. That's what they have within themselves. And they speak with a fierceness that is very benevolent, that is very loving, that is very in service to the higher good. Because ultimately that's what you came here to do. Your communication is about you raising up the people around you and you living your purpose and having the impact that only you can have in the world. So don't be shy and don't be mute and don't be squeamish. Communicate like a queen. Speak the truth in love. Be unapologetic about it and be fierce in your communication. And I promise you, the world will thank you for it and they'll ask you for more. If this was helpful for you, please share it and leave a comment below. What's one way you are going to communicate like a queen this week?